hanging right there, and I think that threesome back behind them have hooked up in single file, and they're gaining on the leaders.
That's the 99 of Jeff Gordon leading that threesome.
You're not going to get away very long if you can keep everybody in line. Everybody will get back together if they'll stay a single file.
There's that trio running just behind the front four, led by Jeff Burton. And you see directly behind him the 16 of Musgrave, and then Johnny Benson. Now here's Bernie Irvin squeezing one off on the inside. That's going to move him into 8th. Drop Ward Burton to 9th. Benson stays 7th. Musgrave 6th. Burton, that trio moving in a little.
Yeah. See, that's the worst thing that can happen to Ernie. They get side by side and he's stuck. There he goes. He made it 10.
3 packs of cars as we get down to the side of this first segment.
Those front 4 are saying, boy, just let these laps run out. And the next 3 back there are saying, how many more we got to go?
Right. So we need more time.
Mayfield in 10th spot, number 37.
Well, I never would have believed it, but it looks to me like Earnhardt and Gordon are positioning themselves for the second 10 laps.
I think that's exactly what's happening.
Unbelievable qualifying yesterday, and the man on the pole for the Daytona 500 next Sunday is standing by with Mike Joy.
He's the 95 Craftsman Truck Series champ, Ken, and he'll start his first ever Daytona 500 from the pole. Mike Skinner, what are you learning from what you see here in these first 10 laps?
I'll tell you, I can't wait to do that next year. This is a lot of fun.
Well, he's qualified for the Busch Clash. Any surprises from what you've seen thus far?
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that Dale didn't get a little bit better start, but he's getting to be a pretty good strategist. This thing is a long ways from over.
That's right. Earnhardt, of course, is Mike Skinner's teammate in Winston Cup racing this year, Ken.
Mike Skinner on the pole for the Daytona 500, and Grissom will start along beside him for Larry Hedrick.
Ken, right now you got Head running first, you got Hart running second, and you got Money running third. See what happens.
All right. Head, Hart, and Money.
There they go.
But there's a lot of heart in that number 2 for sure.
Yeah, and that 88 is sitting there maybe in the best place of all of them. If he's as strong as they say he is, this could be ideal for him.
I don't believe he's as strong as he showed in practice, Darrell. I don't believe that car is working quite as well as it maybe did in practice. And that other group has caught up to him there now, the other 3 cars. So now you have a 7-car draft up front.
Mark Martin perched right there in 2nd spot. Looked like he was going to take a shot out of 2. Wind it up. Dale Jarrett back there in 4th place, giving us these pictures at 190 miles an hour. You're watching it live. The Busch Clash to start the Winston Cup season next Sunday. The Great American Race, the Daytona 500. It's right here on CBS with some 80 cameras. To 80, that's right, to bring you all the action. They continue to move them around in the draft. Right to the outside goes Jarrett.
He's looking up there.
Are we? We're coming up on the halfway, aren't we? 10 laps. I mean, this is the last lap right here.
First segment coming down.
This is where it gets interesting. Who's got what?
Here comes Rusty trying to make a move. Or Mark Martin had gotten around Rusty Wallace, and he's trying to make a move. He wants the Ford to win it, but I don't think he's going to win this first segment. Terry Labonte has him covered.
Terry's got him covered this time.
Down they come to complete the first half into the line, and to start dead last will be Terry Labonte. Right with him comes Martin to the outside, Chevy and Ford across the stripe with Rusty Wallace in 3rd. Well, it'll be interesting to see what will happen with those guys that were out back in this one.
Now you see they'll be able to come in, make a pit stop, and service those cars, make some changes. Some of them will certainly want to do that, and see if they can do better the next one.
CBS Sports coverage of the 1997 Busch Clash continues after this message and a word from your local station. The track condition is caution. The first half of the 1997 Busch Clash has been completed. A relentless Terry Labonte came off the point and wouldn't give it up. Here's the order on that first run. Labonte, Marlin, Wallace, the top 3.
Mark Martin in 2nd place, and Dale Jarrett in 4th. Ted Musgrave moved to take 5th at the start-finish line, moving around the Jeff Burton car.
Gordon to 12th on that finish. Ricky Craven got himself a 9th. Mayfield in 10th. So when they line them up, those that were in the rear will be up in front, and that means you're going to have Earnhardt and Bobby Labonte in the front row. Let's go to Dick Berggren.
Well, Earnhardt is going to be coming in here very shortly. Here he comes now, and they're going to put 4 fresh tires on it. Snickers, that was a last-minute decision. They were going to put tires on the car that had been roughed in earlier, and at the very last minute, Larry McReynolds said no Snickers. The problem with the car seems to be, have you heard this story before? Ignition. Same sort of situation they had last year. They're switching to the second ignition system, and hopefully he'll have a better shot at the second half. That's the one that really counts. Let's go to Mike Joy.
In the defending champions pit, Dale Jarrett, they put a right front tire on Jarrett's car and made a very slight chassis adjustment to the left rear jacking screw. And it looks like they're started to let a little air out of the left rear tire, and now they're going to replace it. The left sides, they're mounting sticker tires, a contrast to what Dick Berggren reported. And having a little look at a tire rub here on the left rear fender. Hot stickers on the left side, and little change here on the right side. He's talking to his driver, as you can hear in the background. To torque it up. What changes are you making, and why?
The car's a little bit tight, Mike, so took around to bite out of it, add a little air pressure to the right rear, and send him on his way, and hopefully he can go from the back to the front like he did last year.
Okay, hood is up on Bobby Labonte and on Johnny Benson. Ken?
Field getting organized for the restart and the second half of this race. Inverted start. Action in the $370,000 Busch Clash.
This CBS Sports Race Summary is sponsored by Econo Lodge. Spend a night, not a fortune.
Taking a look at the race summary after those first 10 laps, it was 1 leader all the way, Terry Labonte.
Averaged over 185 miles an hour. Of course, there were no cautions. The biggest move was Ted Musgrave, who started 10th and finished 5th.
The Budweiser Blip and its Eye in the Sky camera, proud to provide you with these live shots 1,000 feet above this 2.5-mile racing facility.
Yeah, right now is when the driver, reality just hit him when he comes back around. He says, golly, why'd I win that first segment? Look where I am now.
Well, here comes Earnhardt. 91, 93, 95. Odd years. This is 97. As you take a look at that inverted grid, it's like short track racing on Saturday night. We got Bobby Labonte and Dale Earnhardt in row 1. In row 2, there's Jeff Gordon and Ward Burton. Row 3 will be Jeremy Mayfield and Ricky Craven. For row 4, Ernie Irvan, Johnny Benson there. Row 5, Jeff Burton, Ted Musgrave with that big move in the first 10-lapper. Row 6 is Dale Jarrett and Rusty Wallace. And row 7, Mark Martin and Terry Labonte. They'll be men on a mission. Here's Mike.
Bobby Labonte's crew had the hood up for some time, Ken. They think the ignition timing is off. If he's driving a Ford, that wouldn't be a problem. The distributor's on the front of the engine, but with a Chevrolet, they would have to take off the cold air box and the air cleaner to get to it. They closed the hood and sent him out there the way it was.
There's a big difference in the money in the first segment versus the second segment. So, you know, you got to think about that. I mean, the way the race is set up, you got to figure out, you got to have a little bit of strategy. We were talking about passing people, but you got to know where you're going to be at the second segment. That's when it counts.
And you pick a hole and try to hope it's the right hole and try to fill it.
14 Busch Clash starters represent 11 Winston Cup championships. That's Ray Evernham. 150 pole positions, 198 victories, $109 million in winnings rolling around that track. Jeff Gordon settles down and gets ready for this run. And he's wishing Rick Hendrick well, going in for some treatment in the hospital.
Yeah, I'd like to say hi to Rick, and also like to say hi to my dad, and hope he's doing all right today.
How is Leroy?
He's doing very well. He's taking some treatments now, and, you know, I miss you, Dad. I wish he was here.
Your biggest fan. Well, here's Jeff Gordon looking out from the inside of row 2. Pace car coming in. We're ready to go racing once again. With Ned Jarrett, Darrell Waltrip, I'm Ken Squire as we watch them come to the line for the 97 Busch Clash decision time. 10 laps.
Clear high, clear off, you want it.
See, Labonte hadn't been able to go. You know, his cars looked like it was real slow, but he got a good start there.
Fading back a couple of spots, Earnhardt. Maybe just getting his breath.
He probably didn't want to get hung out if he could help it.
Look at Jarrett coming out of the back.
Oh, this is a perfect scenario when you're in the back. They're 2 or 3 wide up ahead of you. It really gives you a lot of draft.
Jeff Burton goes. Benson goes. Craven trying to stop him. Started to move out. And look at right in between cars, Ernie Irvin.
Wow, Jarrett hoped to follow him through there, but he couldn't get there quick enough. That gap closed up on him.
What he took forward. Ernie Irvin's race cam.
He's the guy that's on the move. He's
190 miles an hour.
And we got them 3 abreast back there. Now they get down to 2 as Ricky Craven backed off a little bit.
Out in front, Bobby Labonte. Jeff Gordon still lying there in second spot.
And there goes Gordon. I think he's got the move right there into turn 1. He probably should bring Rusty with him.
And Rusty came from 12th to 3rd in 1 lap.
And there's Ernie right there, too. So they're looking pretty good right now.
What a move on Rusty Wallace, going reminiscent of some of Dale Earnhardt.
Look at Jeremy Mayfield down here, Ned. Jeremy Mayfield 3 wide down on the inside, and he's going by.
Dale Jarrett on the bottom, headed for 3. Pitches it down in.
Ernie had a problem. Ernie really had to get out of the throttle. Ken, look at him. He fell way back.
14 guys with one thing on their mind. Checkers or wreckers before this one's over.
There's still 3 abreast. Bobby Labonte, the meat in the sandwich. He's just trying to hang on there.
I'm really impressed with Labonte because, I mean, he didn't run that well in the first segment. Well, no, he's falling back. That's Warren Burton is up in there.
Ricky Craven works on the bottom of the 88. Down
Come on, baby. Come on.
Atta boy.
Come on, Brian. Jump up and down with me.
Yeah. That's Todd in there. That's your cheerleader. That's what I was telling you. Everybody gets in this race.
Todd Parrott, the crew chief for number 88, Dale Jarrett. You saw Benson just slip down to the inside as they hit the 3rd turn. Jeff Gordon out in front. Rusty Wallace in that 2nd spot. First and 3rd, Earnhardt.
Well, you know, we didn't hear him say anything was wrong with Gordon's car in that first segment, so I think he was probably just doing what we thought he'd do and get himself up front in the second half.
Warren Burton is in 4th. Jeremy Mayfield 5th in the 37.
On it the last time when we pitted.
Boy, Terry can't be, he's not going anywhere. Terry got what he wanted. I won the first segment. Y'all can have the second.
Got his 30,000.
That's right. I had a good show. Made my sponsor happy.
Listening to Todd Parrott trying to bring the 88 of Jarrett around as Gordon continues to lead. Wallace number 2 in 2nd and Earnhardt number 3 secures 3rd, and there's about a 2-car length interval between 3rd and 4th position as they come down out of 4.
You got to be impressed with Ward Burton and Jeremy Mayfield. I mean, those are young guys that are very inexperienced in this race.
Back in 6th, Jarrett. 7th, Benson.
Benson doing a great job also. This is his first Busch Clash.
3 Pontiacs came out to the start. Now take a look up in front. Here is Gordon leading. Gets himself about a 1-car length advantage off that critical 2nd turn. If you can get out of there perfectly, get that car to cut right, you can really build that horsepower up in the back straightaway.
I've been impressed with Rusty this week down here. He qualified well. He's running well here today, and you know, this is not one of his favorite racetracks.
Mike Joy standing by, former winner of this event.
87 winner of the Clash and the 500. He's been in 14 straight Busch Clashes. Bill Elliott, what are you seeing out here now?
Well, it looks like if Russ can go down on Gordon, I think Earnhardt's going to try to capitalize on that situation. But it's going to depend on if Gordon will give him the room to pull down on him. As I saw in the last race, it's kind of they fought a little bit, but I think Mark kind of give up a little bit on Terry. But if Rusty pulls down on Gordon and gets it too wide, I think Earnhardt's going to capitalize on that one.
If the front 2 cars or 3 cars stay single file, are you afraid to pull out if you're behind them?
Well, I think at this situation, it's, you know, for no longer in the race is, I try to pull out because whatever you lose, either you're going to win the race or you're going to the back, and, you know, second, you ain't going to do no better. So I'd go for it.
It's hero or zero, Ken.
Absolutely.
Bill Elliott, man who started this race 14 times but not in it this year. Last lap at 188.4.
That's a lot quicker than the first race. And I'll tell you something, people at home may not realize, but that guy in front right now is doing a lot of defensive driving. He's not running the line that he would be normally running if he wasn't trying to hold them guys behind him. He runs the middle of the racetrack. He runs around a good bit off of the corner, different lines, seeing if there's anything there.
Jarrett looking on the high side, nothing there, and Ernie Irvin comes underneath him, sets him back, and with him goes the number 6. Up another spot, Mark Martin. But more on Ernie Irvin. Let's go down to the pits.
Ken, they're not happy with Ernie Irvin's car. They're not exactly sure what's wrong. Robert Yates said it just won't run. Ken?
Now, he had a thing going toward the front there, and then all of a sudden he got 3 wide going into 3 over, and it looked like took the air off this spoil, and he really sent him backwards. He's coming back now, though.
Gordon continuing to stay on the point, and Wallace, after that first lap move from 12th up into 2nd.
Here you got Mark Martin and Terry Labonte, and they're at the back of the field, and they won the first segment. So drafting and positioning in this race is so critical.
With 7.5 miles to go, you've got Gordon deployed first, then Rusty Wallace right there. Anybody got anything more to show?
I think they're showing everything that they got right now.
I think the biggest thing is going to be what Rusty does to the 24 car, to Gordon. I don't think that Ward Burton will be a lot of help to Earnhardt. And that could be Earnhardt's Achilles heel right now, is the car behind him. Because that Pontiac is just, they haven't shown to be that quick out front.
2 laps to go this time by. Here's Mike Joy.
Mike Skinner, if we've learned anything standing up here, it looks like it's that you got to have help.
Yeah, I'll tell you, we did a little drafting practice down here in the winter, and with the cold air box, it seems like you get right up behind the car and it hits the brakes. I don't know if we're seeing a little bit of that right here or not. We'll find out next Sunday, I reckon, or maybe Thursday in the 125.
What he means by that, Ken, is this time the air cleaner is hooked up directly to where the air goes into the engine, and we're taking in all cold air this time, and there's a lot of concern about whether that's good or bad.
Well, a lot to say that's going to be helpful. Not getting any of that heat off the engine itself. Now, as we come down with a lap to go, Gordon first, Wallace second, Earnhardt third, Burton fourth, Ernie Irvin is in fifth, Mayfield is in sixth, Mark Martin in seventh, and Benson eighth for the line.
All right, you're down by 3. Give it to Michael Jordan and see if he can sink it.
And see if Jeff Gordon can hold off Rusty Wallace.
This is the toughest part in the race right here. It's when you come off that corner and want to know if you wonder if you got enough to make the move or not, and he doesn't have. That's pretty much a done deal, looks to me like.
Gordon takes us down out of turn number 2. Wallace closing in.
Yeah, he needed to make his move off turn 2 if he's going to have it.